Hello everyone, and welcome back to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. This is our final year of this life. I think at this point all we're basically doing is just locking in whatever ending we want to get. It's probably just going to be one of the career endings, which is A-OK. We are currently dating Tangent. You hear shouting coming from the lab, Tange's voice and Instant's as well. There is the sound of breaking glass, and then a few seconds later, Tange explodes from the laboratory. She balls up her lab coat and throws it away. The history of humanity is a history of genocide, she fumes. Have we learned nothing from our past? We left Earth specifically to begin a new life, one unburdened by humanity's failures hanging around our necks like the proverbial albatross. Tange stops and rests her face in her hands, and to be suckered into almost repeating them, unconscionable. Interesting. Tammy. Tammy is sitting in a big chair in the lounge. Echinacea passed out on her chest with her fat little legs and arms splayed in every direction. Tammy looks up at you and gives you a tired smile. I don't know what to do, Garrett, she confesses quietly. Sometimes it feels like everything is terrible, and I look at her little face and I'm just so sad that this is the world she's going to grow up in. Tammy sighs and strokes her hand through Echinacea's hair. We're supposed to make the world better for our children, but it's all I can do some days just to put on a smile for her. Amen to that. I got a little sidetracked, medicinal herbs, by talking to people there. But yeah, this is going to be our last year of this life, and then we're going to have to figure out what we're doing next life. We'll have the root access kernel code, and we'll see where it goes from there. I think that all that really does is just prevent the famine from happening in the first place. But oh yeah, no, I said I want to do a politician life next time and actually overthrow maybe romance Miss Marz here. Yo, what's up, Marz? Yeah. Alright, let's get into working in all of our respective jobs. Before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That way you don't miss anything we've got coming up, and you'll get to see all of the future lives of EXO as we go forward. How are we doing on stress? 13 stress. Alright, I think in terms of like specific endings, I want the robotic setting, so we're going to go back to working in here. Nothing more satisfying than finishing a workday with all the bots fully repaired and slumbering in their charging bays. Well-running robotics lab is a sign of a well-running colony. Indeed. Card becomes a mental. Should put you somewhere where things are not already mental. Kind of got a bad hand here, though. 58. Is that the best we could have done? Yes, apparently. Hella. Still getting creativity out of that too, which is neat. The investigation into the bombing during the Glow attack continues all month. Governor Lum and his goons can't find a way to pin it on any of the Stratos, and over time, people come to accept that Dice was probably the culprit. The rumor doesn't make anyone feel better, but it does take the heat off of the others, including yourself. As usual for this time of year, your dreams have been more vibrant and invasive. You have trouble distinguishing dream from reality during the day, and you dread falling asleep at night. Wake yourself out of this dream. You resist the temptation to chase the little hop-eye, and instead lay back down in bed, telling yourself to wake up. Wake up. It works. Milky, quiet sunlight pours through your window, flakes of bromide snow piling up against the glass. You feel as tired as when you went to bed. It's your birthday. You're 19 years old, only Only 1 more year as a teenager. Mental skill increases reduced. Well, my mental is already, except for organizing, as good as it's gonna get. Sup. More Tange whinging. I don't want to read that. Don't whinge, Tange. What you got, Tammy? Oh, birthday, yes. And of course, offer to share. Because that is what you do. Anyone got anything else? No? Everybody's just happy? Yeah, everybody's pretty chill. That's fine. Back to the lab, then, until an event happens. Check if we have anything new here. One new thing, okay. You're working in the med bay when Tange strolls in, heads straight to the medicine cabinet, and pulls out 2 containers. She studies them critically. Hey Garrett, she says, what's better for focus? Study Buddy or Zingfetamine? Both of the things she named are pretty strong stimulants, not the kind you're supposed to dispense freely. She's been busy with instants in the lab lately. Maybe she's doing extra schoolwork or something. Why do you need them? I need them to study, Tangent says defensively. Not that it's any of your business. I thought she didn't even need to sleep. Why would she need these? Tangent frowns. To concentrate, okay? I'm pulling all-nighters now, and bleb tea makes me jittery after the 4th cup. So you're going to let me have them or not? No. You tell her no. Stimulants aren't healthy, and she's too young to be addicted to them. Who even knows what they'll do to her modified sleep cycle? So what, you're going to tell on me, she says. Fine, let's see how that goes. She stomps out in a huff. 10 minutes later, Instance walks coolly in and gets the pills for Tange. She tells you to do your job so she doesn't have to do it for you. Wow. Okay, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. That's how it be. +9. 5 to flush this with this card. $65. Is it the best? Already have the best score. Cool. Alright. I'm sorry. I didn't feed your addiction. Ooh, Tammy's got more. What's up, Tammy? Tammy looks worried. She's hugging herself and pacing around. Every now and then, her attention turns sharply towards the east wall. Are you okay? She's relieved to see you. There's something out there, she says in a quiet voice. Lots of somethings, outside the walls. I think they're far away, but I can hear them. Oh, can she hear the gardeners? What do they sound like? It's like, she struggles to describe the sound, squeaking. Super high-pitched, really long sounds. Like metal or like a broken Robovac scraping along the floor. Only there are hundreds of them. You shudder at the thought. My dad said he picked these ears as my augmentation to keep me safe. His were the same, but they couldn't keep him safe. She sniffs. I'm scared. I hate my stupid ears. So she's got super hearing. She bats at them with her fist, tears springing to her eyes. It's okay to be scared. She gives you a long, searching look. No, it's not, she says finally, pouting. I don't want to be scared. It makes it unhappy, and that is not okay with me. You're lucky to have such cool ears. Really? You think so? She lets you lean in close for a good look at her enormous elf-like ears. You wonder what it must be like to have such sensitive hearing. Can she hear the grass growing? Can she hear your heart beat? Engineering 20 or greater. Oh, that'd be so mean. You ask if she's considered noise-canceling sound. Subdermal jawbone conducting here speak for her holopalm could be calibrated to dampen or block out certain frequencies. She takes a moment to parse what you're saying. Oh wow, I've never thought of that. I'll try it. I wonder if I'll still feel like me without my special hearing. They're neat. You tell her that with her amazing hearing, she could be a great garrison lookout, or a musician, or a spy. She looks at you dubiously. I don't think I want to be any of those things, but thank you, she smiles. You're a good friend, Garrett. Oop. She apologizes for crying, even though you've seen it many times. Tammy is such a caring girl. It's unfair she has to suffer from her sensitive hearing, but she's so sweet that she doesn't want to be a burden. She gives you a big warm hug and says she's going to head inside soon because it's nice and quiet in there. You leave her rubbing one of her ears thoughtfully. Shy, confident, adventurous, homebody, oh you don't say. Rebellion, loyalty, yeah that makes sense. Cool. Finally got all the info for Tammy. Anything new, or are we good to keep going? Good to keep going. Come on, Roomba. Anything more in Medbay? A little bit more, yeah, actually. You've begun to earn Instance's grudging respect, at least so far as the Medbay goes. You think she's just grateful that someone else has to deal with the colony's constant minor medical annoyances. You've learned a lot about her, in snippets here and there. You know, she's never had any kids. She's never even donated genetic material to make kids. In fact, she seems put off by the prospect. She has Tangent, after all, and she says that mentoring her is far more rewarding than raising children of her own. She's in a rare mood today and seems willing to talk about what things were like on Earth. Yeah, sure, hit me up, fam. We were considered terrorists, you know, she says. That's what they called everyone who threatened their... She makes a face of disgust. Religious apocalypse. She pauses and looks into the middle distance. Well, the bombings didn't help, I'm sure. I was considered a criminal on a few counts by the time I left Earth, she continues. I believed in genetic enhancement for all humanity, but our conservative nation forbade it. Only the richest could travel to other countries to have it done in secret. I still might have got by, except for my gender. In the Vatumna group, I was raised equal to other children, in a free-thinking community, but outside it. Well, let's just say they weren't tolerant of female scientists in my part of the world, especially ones researching illegal gene therapies. All I wanted to do was unshackle people from the bonds of their genetic heritage, she sighs. But people loved the shitty, stupid genes. Valued the DNA like it somehow defined who they were, more than their own actions. We didn't have families in the Vatumna group compounds, she says. And that was the point. Break the bonds of genetics so we could see the ones we have with all humanity. Blood doesn't define us. Instance nods. If we've taught you anything, I hope it's that. I was 28 when I left Earth on the stratospheric. I'm colony born, but they sent me out to get an education, and ultimately, to access the technology we needed to leave. Your mother was the rebel, I was the plant, she says fondly. By the time we were ready to launch, I had 2 degrees in genetic engineering, and a list of enemies as long as my arm. They had to take me with them, even though I wouldn't raise space babies for the colony. I knew how the damn tech worked. Wait, you were a super spy? No, she laughs. No, I never claimed to be anything other than what I was. But you can get away with a lot if people think you're smart enough. Do you ever think about how we have all this technology? She says, indicating the medbeds. Genetic engineering, medbeds, congruence? These are unbelievably important, priceless pieces of technology, restricted only to the most wealthy and connected corporations on Earth. The kind of corporations to which I had access. Someone had to acquire them. Too bad the Helios are just as stuck here as we are, she says, not sounding upset at the least. I bet they'd love to cop me back to their corporate overlords in chains. Cool. Some history. Long-term Instance voice totally hurts my throat. Is that it? I think that's gonna be it, yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'll get some more empathy. Ooh, we actually are pretty close to ranking up that. Okay, so 66 plus 15 is 81. So we are 3 away. If we do this one more, we'll rank up in empathy. Might end up accidentally getting the nurse ending, but I'm okay with that. It's not hard to get back into robotics. Hey, Tange. Yeah. You and Tange go for a walk, eventually ending up at the path back to your quarters. This is hardly motivation, Tange says when she realizes where you're headed. I don't need to sleep as you do. You stop and look at her, wondering if you have to spell it out. She holds your eye, revealing nothing except for a subtle twitch of the corner of her mouth. Finally, she relents. Oh, you mean for the purposes of copulation, she says. Why didn't you say so? Who knew Tange could be such a tease? Literally. Giggity. You guys doing okay? Tammy's doing circuits of the courtyard with Echinacea, guiding her by the chubby little hand. Come on, lovely, she encourages. You're doing wonderfully. I think that was come on, lovely. Tammy rolls her good-natured eyes as she passes you. She could do this for hours. Cool. Everyone chilly chill? Everyone's chilly chill, okay. Parents are happy and both alive. That is an egg I spot. Let's go back into medbay. Surprised we've been getting more events. Boop. Dr. Instance is very protective of the colony's gene tech machine, which is used to make babies, correcting congenital abnormalities and granting them genetic enhancements before they are implanted in a womb. It's in its own room, locked tight with all of the colony's precious frozen embryos from Earth in an adjoining freezer. It's also sometimes used for deep gene treatments, like gender affirmation therapy. Truly a miracle device. Okay. 10 kudos of total equals goal. I see. $62. I see how it's doing it. Wait, what? Didn't we have a 62 before? Before I started messing with it? Well, whatever, we're going for 60 then. Yeah, I don't know how we lost that 62, but that's fine. We got our 3 empathy, that's all that mattered. Improved relaxing, choose from 3 cards. Okay, well that's not bad. Everybody good? Pollen is really thick right now, but it seems like everyone's good. Alright, back in we go. Back to repairing robots. The bots don't have identities, not like congruents, but they certainly have personalities, especially the ones that have been active since the stratospheric left Earth. That's a lot of time to develop quirks. There's the bot that needs to go back in and out of the charging bay 3 times before getting a good connection. There's the one that sings a cheerful little song when it sees you. There's one chicken-legged gardening bot that prefers to hop sideways. Every bot is like a tiny little piece of congruence herself. So in a way, it's kind of natural that they'd start to develop these eccentricities, just like she has. Doot, doot, doot. Doot, doot. We do have some high-ranking other cards. Is it going to maybe swap some in? No. Okay. This is just best. No one got anything. No one has got anything. Cool, cool. Tange stares at the hole left in the wall by the explosion. I don't understand, she says softly. A slight breeze from the encroaching wilderness ruffles her hair. How could anyone do something like this to their own people? She clenches her fist. To their own flesh and blood. Oh no, we'll keep that. Actually, I don't need to give anyone gifts. No gifts for anyone! We are being stingy now. You program one of the vacuum bots to deliver a love note to Tangent. It beeps and trundles off to deliver your words of affection. You don't get anything back. Big sad. Alright. Wow. 46, eh? Wow. Alright. That one just did not... Could have gotten a 50. Okay. That's fine. We'll take a little bit of extra stress. Vertimnalia, or whatever is taking its place, is soon. Might literally be nothing. But we'll have to see. Anything new from Tammy? Nope. Oh, but we can do this now. Yeah. Congruence, the ship. Oh! Congruence has a birthday. That's awesome! Congruence, the ship's tireless AI, has attended every birthday, but has never had one of her own. Tammy comes up with the idea to throw Congruence a surprise party. Sure, she doesn't have a birthday like you do, so you just make one up. It's today. Hooray! Now, will that last every life? There's no hiding from Congruence, though. She sees everything in the colony, including you two setting up, but she still pretends to be absolutely delighted when Tammy presents her with her cake, a collection of solar converters tied together with an electrical cord. Now, hold on. Is that in our file for Congruence now? No. Damn. That makes me sad. Alright. Back into the lab. Bot shows up for repair with a note tucked into its chassis. You open it up to find one of Nomi's drawings. They must have snuck it onto one they knew was coming in for repair, so you'd be sure to see it. You tack it up to the wall next to all of Nomi's other work. That's awesome. Ooh, this is a rough hand, but we can make it work. $58. What say you, fairy? Hella. Governor Lum enters the colony square to his customary bombastic fanfare. Brass band, red carpet, banners with the Heliopause logo snapping in the hot dust breeze. It's inspiring. The governor gets his usual tithe of applause from die-hard soldiers, but it's obvious how tired and fearful everyone has become in service to his war. You catch Marz's attention and she rolls her eyes and makes a gagging motion. Cal looks sullen and withdrawn, refusing, along with the rest of Geoponics, to give Lum any applause. The governor raises his hands for silence, though it's largely unnecessary. Pioneers of Vertumna, he begins. We stand here today not shivering and quaking in fear, but with our hands around the neck, he makes a ringing gesture, of the planet itself. Yeah, we've seen this happen before, where Marz gets dragged away. Bye, Marzi. Anyways. Cycle out the council. Oh yes, we can all be replacements. Steward? Absolutely not. Cultivator? No. Engineer would be the thing. Yeah. I guess... I don't know if Tangent would be competition there. Or... if she would have a different role, but we'll go for Engineer. You come forward to be added to the ballot. Tangent watches you with a wary expression as she adds her own name. Yup. Engineering has been a mess since Professor Hal died. Maybe this will help. The council discusses all the nominees at length. Then, you win. Hell yeah. Your holopalm chimes as Congruence updates your clearance to give you access to all the schematics for the ship and her systems. Second Engineer, +2 skill on mental challenge one. That's pretty good. When the voting is concluded, Seek announces the names of those newly appointed seconds. The crowd cheers for you when Seek reads out your name as Second Engineer. You don't recognize the Helio appointed to Second Administrator. It must be one of Lum's people. It wasn't Marz. Interesting. Is that because we weren't really big friends with her this life? Because she won it last time. Vase is appointed to Second Security Officer under Rhett. He gives a little speech, essentially congratulating himself and promises to single-handedly win this war. It was Nemi last time. Cal's chosen to be Second Cultivator. He looks a little overwhelmed. Your mom must have put his name in. The Steward of the Heliopause joins Aunt Anne as her much-needed Second Steward. Yeah, that's not a new one. A Helio soldier you don't recognize is appointed as Utopia Second, much to her dismay. That was us last time. After it probably would have been Dice if we'd managed to keep him in the colony this life. After the politicking is over, the crowd adjourns to the feast tables and eventually the dance floor. Neato burrito. Running out of time indeed. Alright, anything new, or are we good to just get back into the lab and make sure we fix everybody's robots? There is also teaching, which I basically abandoned, but that's okay, that's for another life. I mean, I can finish it out. I might as well. You're helping Tammy brush up on her math and chemistry. Antecedent says that I need to measure when I'm baking, she says, staring timidly at her hands. But when I'm baking, I just go by how the dough feels, or looks, or smells, and it always works out. When I try to measure and think too hard, I get it wrong. Except for that last part, that's actually my mom when she talks about cooking. She doesn't like measurements and stuff. It's all a dash or a pinch or that kind of thing. I tend to be quite the opposite in the kitchen. I like to know exactly how much I'm supposed to use and timings and all that stuff for most things. She tugs on her ear. She told me that if I want to do it by feel, then I need to get better at chemistry too. She showed me this long textbook about food chemistry and how proteins combine to form gluten and how acid makes things fluffy and soft. She blinks. I didn't know any of that. Aren't acids bad? Why would I put them in food? We'll go easy on her. She'll never learn if she isn't enjoying it. You gently encourage Tammy as you read through the food chemistry textbook together and work on some practice tests, even when she gets every question wrong. Though she'll probably never be a chemistry whiz like Tange, she blossoms with every compliment, slowly gaining confidence in her abilities. This isn't as scary as I thought it would be, she says as she closes her hollow palm. Thanks, Garrett. We've really been helping Tammy's confidence. I wonder what that leads to. When the lesson is over, Tammy insists she bakes you a cake to show you what she's learned. She didn't really understand the lessons, but she has the confidence to taste it as she goes and adjust the recipe based on gut feeling, now informed by some solid book learning. Did she really learn anything about math or chemistry? Maybe not. But she's a better baker now, and that was her goal. She happily gives you a piece and thanks for being such a good teacher. It's not bad, but you aren't sure she should be thanking you. Tammy is best at cake, you hush. Ooh, good hand, good hand. I mean, not really, I guess. Some meh cards, but at least all were blue. Oh, interesting. Card becomes a 4. Oh yeah, because neighbors become wild. Yeah, okay. Sure. Thanks, Fairy. You actually really helped there. You're starting to get a little stressed out. Oh, what do we get? Did we not have that? Oh. Okay. Cool. You hear Tandra's voice before you see her. I've already told you, I have no idea where Dice has gone. Perhaps he's dead. You enter the laboratory and see Tangent talking to someone from command, as Dr. Instance looks on with a concerned look. Tangent is standing her ground. I know it's horrible to say, or even to think, but if I say it, will you finally leave me alone? Wherever he is, he's happier for it. Tange catches your eye and excuses herself, making her way over to you. Pretend you need me for something, she whispers, her voice shaking. I would like to be spared from these vultures. Yeah, actually. Have a card. Not a card, an herb. Medicinal roots. That's the word I was looking for. Quick collectible check. Anyone have a ... above their heads? They in fact do not. That is good. Okay. Anything new with Tammy? No. We out. Today you're tutoring Nougat and a couple of younger kids in ancient Earth geography. They're learning the names of the countries by pointing to them on maps and saying a few facts about them. It seems kind of pointless to memorize places that these kids will never see, but it's not like you can teach them much about Vertumnan geography yet. You're still discovering it. Billions of people? Nougat says, skeptically squinting at a hollow projection of Earth. How do they fit everybody into one little planet, with all the trees and animals and stuff? Was it like one big colony? Lie and make it sound idyllic, telling a gentle tale. Tell her the sad truth. I mean, that's a good card, and I wouldn't mind having more of it. You give Nougat the little kid version of the truth that you learned as a kid. You tell her life on Earth was brutal and hard. Humanity destroyed the environment and fought over what was left. There were no trees or animals left. Not as many as there should have been, anyway. Most people were poor, hungry, and sick, and the ones who weren't kept all the nice things for themselves. At least your parents were lucky to escape on the stratospheric, and you were lucky to be born on it. You're all lucky to be here now. No matter what, at least Vertumna isn't Earth. Nougat looks bewildered. She doesn't really watch holovids, only the cheerful ones for kids that don't address Earth's decline, so she had no idea. But they still had really, really tall buildings, right? To fit all the people? She asks. You sigh and tell her they did, and she nods in satisfaction and goes back to her schoolwork. That's all she wanted to know. Carter gets +3. Oh, right, yes, I see what's happening and why I am getting confused. $77. $78 even, okay. +3 to the card next to it? Oh, that's why. Because it's on the doubling spot. Sure, why not? Begun wet. I would like to, air quotes, complete the tutoring, but I also do kind of want to get the robotics ending. So I think we're just going to pump the last few months into that, although we are going to have to take some time off. Unless we could maybe go on a date with our girlfriend? No. Not yet, anyway. Robots. Everything goes smoothly this month. Not a lot of bots need repairs, so you're able to put your efforts towards improving the capabilities of your little fleet. You activate a few bots from the Helio stockpile and load them with processes from Congruence. New little friends for all sorts of tasks. That's awesome. I legit love that. Card becomes mental. Oh, second engineer, cool. I guess. Oh, here, no, do this one, because it's got a gem. And that one, I guess. 60. Cool. Plus 9 engineering, holy damn. How much more we got? 86. Oh, hey, we're going to have the dog thing from the prologue attacking us this glow. I wonder if we're going to have another freeze trap set up. I think we did that because we had engineering. I also wonder if it's going to be Anemone who comes to save us, because we're not really friends in this life. Barely talk to her. Robots. Another Nomi drawing. Cool. That's gonna be important. $72. I mean, don't tell me we can do better. Yeah, I didn't think so. How's everybody doing? Oh, new thing with Nomi. We have been getting friendship points with them every time we do robotics. Where you'd normally find Rex and Nomi playing together, you only find Rex. You ask him where Nomi is, and he shrugs. Sorry, I don't know. They mentioned they were kinda under the weather. Oh, it's this one again. Yeah, okay. We're gonna go RPG with them. Rogue! Always rogue. We will RP with them properly. We will play along because of course we do. And combat challenge. This might actually be hard here. Pretty sure last time we would have aced this. This time we will not really be so lucky. Maybe? We might be able to squeak this through. Not quite enough if we do it like that. $45. You know what? That's fine. We're gonna lose this, but I'm gonna get an achievement here, I think, for playing a hand with all 5s. Nope. You forget to stand still while Graz casts Flame Wreath and get absolutely destroyed. As you make the grim journey from the graveyard back to your corpse, Nomi messages you. Don't worry, true love's kiss can resurrect the dead. Nomi sends you a kissing emoji, then a string of question marks. You wait a few minutes while Nomi composes their message. Finally, they send you, My Dre's tree whisper falls to the knees beside the battered body of their lover, Garrett. "Curse the contemptible fates," they cry to the uncaring sky. "Thou shalt not pluck the flower that grows from our bond." The fiery-haired archer bends to press their lips to Garrett's, pouring into him the boundless life energy of their love. You click the button to resurrect your character, and Nomi cheers. You log off the game and open a chat window with Nomi. "Don't worry, we're not trying to flirt with you. We get that it was the fun time." Okay, I should probably not skip over this because I did choose different ones than last time. I think you might be interested in someday. They're talking about not being into romance and love and stuff. Okay, sometimes it's like, okay, I might be interested in someday, but I think I'd really like to like someone first, you know? Like Rex? Garrett, it's complicated. Actually, I totally shipped you and Dice, and I'm really sad. I hope one day I can get you two together. I really like Rex, but he's so Rex. Yep. I don't think I could. Keep up. If you know what I mean, I do. But anyways, thanks for playing with me. You rock, Nomi. What's our friendship level at? 50. Okay. Cool. Alright, how we doing on stress? 94. We're gonna get completely stressed out after this, so maybe we'll rest for glow. One more robotics for the road. There's a stack of repair regulations flagged for Dice that he hasn't touched. I don't think that's relevant anymore, but sure. We'll pretend Dice is still here. Card becomes a 4, does it? I think that's pretty good. 57. Sure, I'll take your word for it. Nice. And here it is, the final glow. Crystal cluster. Hey, you want to maybe go on a date? Nope. Unfortunate. Alright, I'm gonna have to rest then. Oh, hi there. Alright, rest up then. The world outside the lounge is dark and eerie, lit mainly by bioluminescent plants and the wormhole that sits low and fat in the sky like an omen. The whole planet feels haunted. You stay indoors where everything seems a little more lively. You don't want to get caught outside. We still have that? God, yes, get rid of it. Knowing the attack is coming, as it always comes in glow, does nothing to calm your nerves. There's only so long you can handle doing nothing, pretending like everything is going to be fine. As the month draws longer, you find yourself almost compulsively walking the walls, scanning the tree line for the first sign of trouble. You're there when you see them, dark on dark shapes coming out of the forest, perfectly silent. You watch with the lookouts as more and more figures amass at the forest's edge. Minutes pass as the horde pushes into the firebreak, numbering at least, it must be in the thousands, more animals than you've ever seen in one place. The ground is choked with a teeming carpet of smaller creatures, darting in and among the legs of... No. Oh no. The forest bends as a faceless emerges from its depths, followed by two more. The mood on the walls is discouraged. One faceless destroyed your colony. Two faceless required an irresponsible number of explosives to take down. How are you supposed to be able to handle three? Yet we're not a fighter, this life. You duck your head and rush toward the safety of the quarters. As you run, you notice... What is our colony defense? Well, it's higher than 5, but less than 10. As you run, you notice that the colony seems to be holding its own. Nothing has breached the walls yet, and it seems that the tide of monsters emerging from the trees has slowed. The colony looks evenly matched. The battle's not in the bag, but so long as the defenses hold, things look hopeful. You're descending from the walls when you are thrown to the ground by a tremendous rumble. A few meters in front of you, something tunnels toward you through the mud. You have the impression of something long and dark that cuts through the ground like a shark through water. You scramble to your feet, but it cuts off your path, forcing you towards a geoponics outbuilding. It's a storage shed, mostly empty, besides bales of hay used as float cow feed. It's dimly lit, but you think you see another door at the far end. The creature advances, throwing up rocks and chunks of dirt as it tunnels closer. We are not a fighter. We're going to avoid it. You dive through the doorway, hoping that a tunneling creature couldn't follow. It stops on the threshold and pokes a long black snout out of the dirt, sniffling. You sniff too. Is that smoke? You look up at the thatched roof and realize the building you're in is on fire. Yay! The dry thatch roof quickly ignites and rains flaming debris down on your head, filling the room with toxic smoke. The ashy heat is intense. You can feel it ripping the moisture from your lungs with every breath. You rush for the rear door, but the fire moves so fast. You're trapped as a roof beam collapses in front of you. You hear a crackling noise, then just pain, and a noise like a bell. The world goes dark. Did we just die? No, okay. We are injured, though. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Fire. Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out. But you aren't sure how you got here, or what on Vertumna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Oh, it is still Nemi. Your body aches and your eyes burn from the smoke. A figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is a ringing in your ears. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Yes, glow season. And a cute little pupper. Glowing eyes! You shake your head to clear out your vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like from Earth? Wait, hold on. You remember this from another life. Not a dog, a monster. It's about to end your life and probably Anemone's too. Shield Anemone, we do not have creativity 100, that's interesting. Dodge and fight it, we do not have perception, but we do have biology. You've remembered this day for many years. The choking heat of the fire, the dog creature's dead yellow eyes haunting your dreams. You've prepared for it. Still the freeze trap, okay. Specifically, you installed an armed freeze trap right where you knew this animal would be standing when it transforms into a towering horror. As it does, you trigger the detonator. Trap sucks inward, drawing all the heat from its surroundings. Monster's feet are frozen to the floor as it instantly crystallizes, becoming an ice statue. Anemone doesn't stop to wonder how this happened. She gives the statue a solid kick, and it shatters into a million fragments. You emerge from the inferno of the shed, burned and concussed, but alive. Anemone smiles. It's good to be alive. You have your wounds tended in the med bay. Other soldiers there are in much worse shape, but at least the battle is over. It was long and bitter, resulting yet again in the destruction of most of the sawmills and arable land. The defenders managed to repel the Xenos before damage could be done to the inner colony. Or maybe the monsters lost interest before finishing the job. It's as if the planet wants you to suffer, but doesn't actually intend to finish you off. Yet, anyway. But for now, you're just happy you've survived to live another day. And that day is your birthday. By the time you've recovered, the suns have returned. It's your 20th birthday. You're a fully fledged adult now, though in many ways you already were and have been for a long time. The end. Cool. Alright, let's see what we got. Cool. Roboticist. That is the ending I wanted. You've always loved machines and decide to dedicate your life to them. You make the colony high-tech, refusing to let things just break down as people expected they would. Why bring all this technology to a new planet if you weren't going to fight your hardest to preserve it? You tinker with the bot programming? Oh god. You start a microprocessor factory, hell yeah. Not content to let the colony return to the Dark Ages, you coordinate with explorers to source some of the rare elements needed to create complex electronics. The first thing you set out to produce are new nanoprinters. Without those raw materials, it's not like the nanoprinters could print their own replacements after all. Your new nanoprinters have an even longer lifespan, and they're locally sourced. You take Chief Engineer Instance's council position when she retires. She retreats into her lab and is rarely seen, always working away on something. You're better with your robot co-workers than your human ones, but you make it work. You worked for many years with Tangent in engineering. She's just as essential to you as she was to Instance, even if at first she's a little resentful that you were named Chief Engineer over her. You always thought you had a good working relationship with Tangent, that she was happy being your second, which is why it's a surprise when Tangent abandons her responsibilities as second 1 year after you're named Chief. At first, she's happy tinkering with her own research passion projects that she had to put aside when she was working in the lab under Instance, things of little interest to the colony. Gradually, though, you notice that something is wrong. This isn't new. Her quarters, once so pristine due to lack of use, are jammed full of experiments. She takes her meals in her room and often disappears from the laboratory for days at a time. Any polite questions about her independent research are met with either wild-eyed silence or an incomprehensible jumble of half-formed hypotheses and streams of consciousness. Even Instance finds her bizarre enthusiasm impenetrable. She spends more and more time alone with her experiments. People begin to worry. And then, she just stops. Everything. Her experiments languish. Tangent languishes. As her partner, you're allowed access to her inner sanctum. Her quarters, now completely in disarray and reeking of rotten organics, where you find her still in bed more often than not. Sometimes she's sleeping, but most often she just lies there, trapped in a nightmarish waking state by her hypercharged metabolism. You lie with her and talk about nothing, slowly uncovering her obsession with Dice's fate. Unable to see her in pain, you share something you remember from a past life. You can't tell her how you know, but she listens as you tell her that you know Dice is in a better place now. Literally, as a gardener. It's hard for her to hear. She's angry at you for keeping this from her, but it's an important first step to accepting that her brother is gone for good. You're there to support her as she grieves her broken family, and, when she's ready, to return to work in the laboratory. You and Tangent continue to date for a while, but ultimately, your partnership fizzles out. A dramatic breakup isn't Tangent's style, but she does dump you pretty unceremoniously, claiming that she simply doesn't have the attention span to spare romantic entanglements. That's fine, we got to be with her for a while. Her love life remains fairly private, though she's not as frigid as she's always claimed. You hear from the colony gossips that she carries on with a string of casual relationships, mostly with other scientists, mostly women. Yeah, I wonder if maybe if we were a woman, we could have kept her long term, but, you know. Thoughts for later. She donates genetic material to a number of children, but doesn't choose to raise any of her own. She's quite picky about their genetic enhancements, obsessing over any markers of anxiety or depression that run in her family. But ultimately, her children grow up healthy and in loving families far removed from Tangent's ode in childhood. It's a bittersweet reminder for her. Tangent lives and dies in the shadow of what she almost caused to happen on Vertumna, knowing that she almost killed every living thing on the planet weighs heavily on her for the rest of her days. Unfortunately, even with genetic alteration, the human body was not made to withstand long periods without sleep. Tangent's willful negligence in taking care of herself certainly doesn't help. She develops a heart condition in her early 60s that outpaces the healing capacity of the medbeds. and it eventually takes her life. Your parents work hard every day to see their pioneer dreams come true. Feeding the colony is a massive job, but they tackle it together. Farming, ranching, analyzing native plants, trying to find a way for humanity to thrive on Vertumna. Every year their work is hindered by the attacks that seem to target geoponics specifically, but they never give up. The strain ages them prematurely. Your mom dies of a heart attack, too young, and your dad limps forward another decade or so before it claims him too. They'll always be with you, in the ground you walk on, in the trees that give you shade, and in the cycle of life that sustains you. Your bot friend Roomba goes through many incarnations over the years, swapping its original VacuBot modules and trying out many new functions. It spends a year as a garden bot with a set of pruning shears on one appendage, then has a brief stint in the creche as a Creatobot, which does not go well. In the end, it settles on RepairBot, a designation of its own making. Roomba works with you in the workshop as a kind of assistant. The two of you are a funny team, but your little friend is genuinely happy and fulfilled. Okay, that is hecking adorable. And in my later years, the days turn to months, eventually becoming years, then decades. Before you know it, you're old. Life is tough, but rewarding. Vertumna continues to challenge you and your loved ones. The attacks continue every year. I don't think we got an ending for any of the other people because we weren't super close with any of them, though I'm sad we didn't get one for Tammy. The attacks continue every year, getting harder and harder to withstand. And not just that, but droughts, earthquakes, diseases, storms, pestilence, and more. Some years you worry that the colony, and humanity, will be wiped off the map for good. But humans are good at surviving. The adversity strengthens your resolve. You mourn your dead, celebrate your births, and keep adapting to whatever the planet throws at you. This is your home, for better or worse. You do what you can to make it a good one. Eventually death comes to you, as it does to everyone. In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle out one by one and shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. This, I think, is when it told us about Tammy last time. It's probably going to tell us something about Dice this time. Is that a person? They seem so familiar. You feel like you know them so well. Oh, it's you, only ancient. His arms are covered with so many data bands, so many lifetimes of knowledge. The ancient you speaks without moving his mouth, not in words, but in something like pictures. Still, you understand. He smiles. We had a good life, don't you think? But there were so many possibilities, and this was only one of them. I lived my best life. I can tell from the weight of your soul that many of your friends and family died before their time. People who might not have, perhaps, if you'd made different choices. He pats your shoulders consolingly. It's natural, in grief, to wish you could have done something different, to have saved someone. But we are special, aren't we? We really can save them. We have a chance to take another path, to change the way our life turned out. He reaches out a hand. Come with me. Always love you guys. But boom. We are now ready to begin our third life. So of course, this is where we are going to leave it off for today. Thank you to everyone for joining me. I hope you had fun. And I will see you all next time for some more I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Bye-bye.